Following my previous waiting and death trip, I was understandably left with some anxiety, so I decided to ease myself back into the experience with just 25 milligrams of freebase to be vaporized using the machine, which is essentially just a glass bottle with a hole drilled through the bottom and a copper mesh in the neck, through which the freebase DMT is vaporized. My intention was to lightly trip on the 25 milligrams to ease some of my anxiety, then to take a larger dose later that night, but it turns out I'm a complete lightweight, so a second dose wasn't necessary. I had a good friend with me, and the set and setting were pretty much the same as previous ceremonies, with the lights off, a couple of candles lit, and incense burning. We meditated for an hour or so in an attempt to prepare for what was to come, then loaded up the machine. On inhaling 3 long tokes of thick DMT vapor, the now familiar feeling of losing my grip on the current reality began. I fell back into the couch, closed my eyes, and found myself in a very familiar realm. I had absolutely been here during the death experience of my previous ceremony. This was a dark, endless realm. I realized that I was strapped into a chair, then looked up to notice 3 or 4 entities standing around me. This was my first direct entity interaction, and nothing could have prepared me. The entities had humanoid-type bodies, but were very tall, slim, and consisted of what appeared to be pure black ceramic with no facial features, but each with a gold band around their head which had an embedded red crystal in the center. I got the strong impression that these beings worked together as a team. One of the black ceramic beings stepped towards me, holding what seemed to be a transparent jug of black liquid. The being forced my head back and my mouth open, then proceeded to pour this liquid down my throat. The liquid had a viscous consistency, a very specific taste which I can't describe, and an intense electrical feeling. As it slowly trickled down my throat and through my body, every cell of my being was penetrated and torn apart. I came to realize that the liquid was a tool which the black ceramic beings were using to deconstruct me. As one was pouring it down my throat, the others were gathered around, just observing. I felt myself being dissected layer by layer. Each layer was an experience, a memory, an emotion I could feel. Everything I consisted of was being peeled away and examined by the beings. Eventually, the dissection process reached layers of pure joy, all my good intentions, all of my love, all of the beauty. I become overwhelmed to the point of tears rolling down my face and just repeating, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you," to the beings for granting me this experience. It became apparent to me that these beings are responsible for the dissolution of a soul after death, until nothing more remains of us than a liquid in a jug, a concentrate of who we were and what we became during our earthly existence, to be judged by either these beings or another higher entity. With my dissolution complete and the black ceramic being's job done, I was returned to my living room, absolutely speechless but rapidly writing notes for this trip report. A minuscule amount of powder from a plant and 5 minutes is all which is required to change anyone's life. I am now convinced.